Have you ever found yourself sitting by the phone, just waiting for that call from your kids, feeling a knot in your stomach when the day ends without hearing from them? Most of us believe this is simply love, but as a physician, I've seen a hidden danger. This constant dependence on happiness silently floods your system with stress hormones, increasing serious heart events by 30%. It's not just making you sad, it's silently making you sick. By the end of this video, you'll discover 5 powerful keys to reclaim your independence and joy, including one crucial insight most people overlook that could truly change everything for your health and happiness. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video, you can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Key number 1. The Fortress of Physical Strength, Reclaiming Your Body. Dr. Miller. Key number 1. The Fortress of Physical Strength, Reclaiming Your Body. The first mistake I see so often, and it breaks my heart every time, is people thinking that after a certain age, rest is always the best medicine. And it's understandable, isn't it? After decades of hard work, raising a family, perhaps a demanding career, the idea of simply resting sounds like a well-deserved reward. We're told to take it easy, to slow down. But this seemingly innocent advice, when taken to an extreme, can become a silent saboteur of our health and independence. It starts innocently. You stop taking those evening walks because of an aching knee. You tell yourself, it's just a little discomfort. Better not to aggravate it. Or perhaps you let your son or daughter carry in all the groceries from the car, thinking you're just being safe, avoiding a strain. You choose the comfortable armchair over standing in the kitchen, and that chair starts to feel a little too comfortable, becoming a gravitational pull you can't quite escape. In reality, without even realizing it, you are slowly, gently, almost imperceptibly building your own cage, one safe decision at a time. Each skipped walk, each avoided lift, each extra hour on the couch is a brick in the walls of that enclosure, making your world smaller, your body weaker, and your independence more fragile. Now, let's talk about what's happening inside your body when you stop moving. It's far more insidious than just feeling a little out of shape. Your muscles, when they aren't used, begin to atrophy. That's the medical way of saying they waste away. Imagine a car left in the garage for years. Its engine corrodes, its tires deflate. Your muscles are no different. They need regular stimulation to maintain their mass and strength. Simultaneously, your bone density, the very frame that holds you up, starts to decrease. This process, known as osteoporosis, makes your bones more porous, more brittle, and far more susceptible to fractures from even minor falls, making you incredibly fragile. Your circulation slows down, which means less oxygen-rich blood is getting to your vital organs, and importantly, to your brain. This can impact everything from your energy levels to your cognitive function. And here's the core reason this becomes so critical after 60 or 70. When we're young, our bodies build muscle almost automatically. Even moderate activity can keep us relatively strong. But as we age, that process slows way down. Our bodies become incredibly efficient, almost ruthlessly so. If you don't intentionally use your muscles, your body gets the signal that they're no longer needed, and it begins to decommission them. It literally starts to break down muscle tissue because it sees it as excess baggage, an energy drain it no longer needs to maintain. It is a true use it or lose it situation. And believe me, the stakes get higher every single year. This isn't just about feeling a bit weaker. It's about losing the fundamental capacity to care for yourself, to walk to the mailbox, to pick up a grandchild, to get out of bed without assistance. This isn't some abstract theory. It's the reason you feel so stiff in the morning that it takes a while to get the engine running. You know that creaky feeling? That's not just a sign of age, it's often a sign of disuse. It's why you get out of breath walking up a simple flight of stairs. Your cardiovascular system and leg muscles aren't getting the regular workout they need. It's that frustrating and sometimes frightening feeling of being unsteady on your feet, raising the constant fear of a fall. We often dismiss these things as just getting old, a natural, unavoidable decline. But so often they are a direct result of inactivity. They are the consequences of letting our bodies believe they are no longer needed for movement. But there is tremendous hope here. The science on this is absolutely clear and incredibly empowering. Groundbreaking research published in the prestigious New England Journal of Medicine has shown that simple strength training, even for people well into their 90s, can dramatically improve muscle mass, mobility, and overall stability. We're not talking about becoming a bodybuilder. Studies have demonstrated that even light resistance exercises can reverse years of muscle loss, improve balance, and significantly reduce the risk of falls. This isn't wishful thinking or some health fad. It's a medical fact, backed by robust clinical evidence. You can literally rebuild your physical strength and reclaim your independence, regardless of your age. I remember my patient Mary, a lovely woman of 82. After a small, seemingly minor fall in her kitchen, she just tripped over a rug. She became terrified of walking. The fear wasn't just of falling again, but of breaking a hip, of becoming a burden on her family. Her world, once vibrant, shrank dramatically. It became confined to the distance between her bed and her favorite armchair. She stopped going to the grocery store, relying on her daughter. She even stopped venturing into her own garden, a place she once cherished. The fear was paralyzing. We started with the simplest thing imaginable, almost comically simple. I told her, "Mary, your only job is to stand up from your chair and then sit back down 5 times in a row. Do that once in the morning and once in the afternoon." She was incredibly skeptical. "That's it, doctor?" she asked. "That's all you want me to do?" But she was desperate, so she did it. Within a month, I saw a change in her posture, a new light in her eyes. Soon, she was walking to her mailbox with a new confidence, no longer clutching the walls for support. Today, Mary walks a mile every single morning with her neighbor, a routine she looks forward to. She told me last week, her voice brimming with pride, "Doctor, I got my legs back." Mary didn't need a miracle pill or complex physical therapy. She just needed to move. She needed to send that signal to her body that her legs were still needed, still capable. So, here is your mission. I call it the 5-minute movement. Tomorrow morning, before your coffee, before you check your emails, I want you to find a sturdy chair, one without wheels. Simply stand up and then sit back down 10 times. Focus on using your leg muscles. Then, right after, march in place for just 1 minute. Lift those knees, swing those arms gently. That's it. It's a start. It's a powerful signal. This isn't about training for a marathon or lifting heavy weights. It's about sending a clear, unequivocal message to your body every single day that you are still living, still moving, and still in charge. It's about breaking free from that self-imposed cage, one intentional movement at a time. So please, stop letting fear make you a prisoner in your own home. Start today. If you promise yourself to try just 5 minutes of movement tomorrow, comment "moving" below to make that commitment. Let's reclaim our bodies and our independence together. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below. to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Key number 2. The garden of a curious mind. Staying sharp and engaged. Dr. Miller. All right, now for the second key, which is just as important as the first, if not more so, for your long-term vitality. Key number 2. The garden of a curious mind. Staying sharp and engaged. The second trap I see people fall into is what I call the passive mind syndrome. You've worked hard your entire life. You've solved complex problems, meticulously managed budgets, and perhaps navigated the challenging waters of raising a family or building a business. You've been constantly learning, adapting, and processing new information. And now, after all that exertion, it feels like you've earned the right to just sit back, turn on the television, and let the world wash over you. You might think, my brain has done its share. It's time to relax. But a mind left idle is precisely like a garden left untended. At first it might feel peaceful, a welcome reprieve from the constant demands. But soon, subtly, insidiously, the weeds of forgetfulness, of apathy, and of a frustrating brain fog will quickly start to take over. You'll find yourself struggling for words, forgetting why you walked into a room, or feeling a general dullness that wasn't there before. This isn't simply a normal part of aging. It's often a direct consequence of a brain that isn't being adequately stimulated. The good news is that your brain is the most remarkable organ you possess. It possesses a truly magical quality called neuroplasticity. Think of it like this. Your brain isn't a fixed, static structure that simply deteriorates with age. Instead, it's more like a living, adaptable network of pathways. Every time you learn something new, it could be a simple word in a different language you hear on a TV show, a new recipe you saw in a magazine and decide to try, or figuring out how to use a new feature on your smartphone or tablet. You are literally building new connections, forging new pathways in your brain. You are paving new roads, stronger bridges, that allow your thoughts to get around the traffic jams and roadblocks that sometimes come with age. You are actively pruning the weeds and planting new, vibrant flowers in your mental garden. The reason this becomes so vital in retirement is that for 40 or 50 years, our jobs and family responsibilities provided a built-in mental gym. We had deadlines to meet, new challenges to overcome, new skills to master, and new information to process every single day. Our brains were constantly engaged, solving problems, making decisions, and learning. When that external stimulation is suddenly removed, when the work stops, when the children are grown and gone, our brain can easily slip into a low-power coasting mode. It gets lazy, like a muscle that isn't used. And that's where the frustrating symptoms begin. That's the insidious brain fog that makes you feel like you're thinking through molasses, every thought slow and effortful. It's that all-too-common moment you walk into the kitchen with purpose, only to stand there completely blank, wondering what on earth you came for. It's the struggle to recall a name that feels like it's right on the tip of your tongue, just out of reach. These aren't necessarily signs that your mind is inherently failing. More often, they are signs that your brain, like any muscle, is simply getting out of shape. It's thirsty for stimulation, for newness, for a challenge. The scientific evidence backing this is overwhelming and incredibly encouraging. Decades of studies on what researchers call cognitive reserve show that people who engage in lifelong learning and mentally stimulating activities have a much, much lower risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's disease. These activities literally build a stronger, more resilient brain, a brain with more backup routes if some pathways become damaged. It's like having a well-developed network of roads versus just one main highway. If the highway gets blocked, you have other options. The more you learn, the more connections you make, the more robust your cognitive reserve becomes. It truly proves the adage, "Use it or lose it," applies just as powerfully to your mind as it does to your body. I have a patient, Bill, a retired accountant. He was a brilliant man. His mind once sharp as a tack, with numbers and spreadsheets, balancing accounts with an almost artistic precision. After he retired, he told me he felt lost. His mind, he said, was getting fuzzy, and he was spending most of his days watching reruns. He felt a profound sense of intellectual stagnation. On a whim, his daughter signed him up for a free online course about the history of the American Civil War, a topic he'd never given much thought to. To his surprise, he was hooked. He started reading books, watching documentaries, and visiting historical sites. He even started debating theories with other online enthusiasts. Now, at 78, he's the neighborhood expert on the Civil War. He gives informal talks at the local library and is a go-to resource for anyone curious about the topic. His memory, far from being fuzzy, is sharper today than it was when he first came to see me 10 years ago. He didn't just find a hobby. He gave his brain a new job, a new purpose, and in doing so, he revitalized his mind. So here is your challenge. It's the One New Thing Challenge. This week, your only task is to learn one new thing. It doesn't have to be big, groundbreaking, or difficult. The key is novelty, something outside your usual routine. Maybe watch a documentary on a subject you know absolutely nothing about, like the deep-sea exploration of hydrothermal vents or the intricate history of ancient Egypt. Look up the lyrics to your favorite song from high school and learn the true story behind them. Who wrote it? What inspired it? Go to your local library and check out a book from a section you've never ever visited before. Perhaps a biography of someone completely outside your field, or a book on astrophysics, or even a craft like knitting. The goal is simply to engage your brain in a new way. You have to feed your brain. It's hungry for more than just game shows and reruns. It craves intellectual nutrition, and by providing it, you'll discover a renewed mental clarity and sharpness. I'm curious, what's one topic you've always wanted to learn about? Share it in the comments below. It might just inspire someone else to take up their own One New Thing challenge. Key number 3, the tapestry of true social connection. Building your circle. Dr. Miller. Now we move to our third key, and this one deals directly with the heart, both figuratively and literally. Key number 3, the tapestry of true social connection. Building your circle. The third, and perhaps the most common and painful mistake I observe, is allowing your entire social world to revolve solely around your children and grandchildren. Now, let me be crystal clear. Your children and grandchildren are a precious, wonderful part of your life. They are, without a doubt, a source of immense joy, love, and fulfillment. But they cannot be your entire life. When they are, you are inadvertently setting yourself up for a world of quiet heartbreak, profound loneliness, and often unspoken resentment. Let's look at the hard science of this, because the impact of social isolation is not merely emotional, it's deeply physical. The famous and long-running Framingham Heart Study, a generational study that has tracked the health of residents in Framingham, Massachusetts, for decades, found something astonishing. Loneliness has a physical impact on your health equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Think about that for a moment. Smoking is a universally acknowledged health hazard. Yet, chronic loneliness carries a comparable risk. It directly contributes to chronic inflammation, which is now understood to be the root of so many age-related diseases, from heart disease and diabetes to certain cancers. Furthermore, it actively weakens your immune system, making you more vulnerable to illness, from the common cold to more serious infections. Loneliness is not just a feeling you experience. It is a physical condition that actively degrades your health. The core reason this becomes such a challenge as we age is simple math, a natural, yet often unacknowledged process. Our social circles naturally shrink over time. Old friends from work drift away after retirement, or perhaps move to warmer climates. Neighbors, whom you've known for years, might relocate to be closer to their own kids or to a retirement community. Some of our dearest friends face their own significant health challenges, limiting their ability to socialize. And sadly, inevitably, we lose people we love, spouses, siblings, friends, to the natural course of life. It's a natural, albeit painful, process of life. But if we don't actively, intentionally work to counteract this shrinking, if we don't consciously cultivate new connections and nurture existing ones, isolation becomes an inevitable, crushing reality. This isolation is the source of that profound, deep sadness that can hit you on a quiet Tuesday afternoon for no apparent reason. A sense of emptiness that can be hard to articulate. It's that gnawing feeling of being invisible, of thinking that if you disappeared, no one outside your immediate family would even notice for a few days, or perhaps even longer. It's a feeling of not mattering in the wider world anymore, a loss of contribution and relevance that can be incredibly damaging to your sense of self-worth. Conversely, the evidence for the power of connection is undeniable. The Harvard study of adult development, one of the longest and most comprehensive studies on human life ever conducted, began in 1938 and has followed hundreds of men, and later their wives and offspring, for over 80 years. What did they find was the single biggest predictor of a happy, healthy, and long life? It was not cholesterol levels. It was not wealth or social status. It was the quality of one's relationships, especially with friends, peers, and the broader community. Strong social bonds provide emotional support, a sense of belonging, purpose, and a buffer against the stresses of life. Think of my patient Carol, a wonderful woman who, at 75, lost her husband of 50 years. She told me, her voice trembling with grief and profound loneliness, "Dr. Miller, my kids are great. They call every Sunday, they visit for holidays, but on the other 6 days of the week, they are so quiet. The silence in this house is deafening." She loved her children dearly, but their love, while cherished, couldn't fill the void of daily companionship and shared experiences. I gently encouraged her to join the local senior center's book club. She was so hesitant, almost resistant. She said, "Oh, I'm not smart enough for that. They'll be talking about all those intellectual books, and I'll just sit there." But with a little encouragement, she went. And then she went again. Now, the book club ladies, as she affectionately calls them, are her lifeline. They don't just discuss books, they share stories, laughter, and support. They check on each other if someone misses a meeting. They bring each other soup when they're sick. They laugh about things that only they, as women of their generation, would truly understand. Her children's calls are still the highlight of her Sunday, a source of immense joy. But now, they are the icing on a cake that is already rich and full. Not the entire cake itself. Carol built her own vibrant social world, separate from, but complementary to, her family. So your task is to find your third place. That's a term for a place that isn't your home, the first place, and isn't your workplace or a doctor's office, the second place. It's a place of community, where you can connect with others who share common interests, a place where you belong. This week, I want you to look up just one local group. It could be a church group, a veterans association, a local gardening club, a volunteer opportunity at the hospital, an animal shelter, or even a bridge club. The options are endless. Just go once. There's no pressure to become the president or the star member. Just show up, introduce yourself, see if it sparks something within you. You need a team. Your children are your family, and that bond is sacred and irreplaceable. But your friends, your peers, your community, they are your team. They are the ones you navigate daily life with, share mundane moments and deep conversations with. If you believe in the power of friendship and community, comment "friends" below. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Key number 4. The compass of daily purpose. Having a reason to get up. Dr. Miller. This brings us to our 4th key, which is all about the fundamental reason you get out of bed in the morning. Key number 4. The compass of daily purpose. Having a reason to get up. The 4th trap I see ensnaring many vibrant individuals is what I call the retirement void. You wake up. For the first time in 50 or 60 years, the alarm clock isn't ringing. There's no office to drive to, no lunch to pack, no boss you have to report to, and no school run for the kids. This immense, beautiful freedom, which you have worked so incredibly hard for your entire adult life, can, paradoxically, over time curdle into a chilling feeling of uselessness. A life without purpose, no matter how comfortable or financially secure, feels like a ship without a rudder, just drifting aimlessly on an empty, endless sea. The initial euphoria of no more schedules can slowly be replaced by a profound lack of direction. Now, this isn't just a philosophical idea. It has profound, measurable biological effects on your health. Scientific studies on what researchers call purpose in life show that people who have a strong sense of purpose, a compelling reason to get up in the morning, actually live longer. They have significantly lower rates of heart disease and stroke. And remarkably, they even sleep better at night. A clear, deeply felt reason to get up in the morning is powerful. Powerful medicine, as potent as many medications for chronic conditions. It imbues your days with meaning, activates your brain, and motivates your body. The root of this problem is that for most of our adult lives, our purpose was clearly defined, and often it was handed to us. It was intrinsically tied to our careers, the job we performed, the impact we made, the income we earned. It was also inextricably linked to the all-consuming, incredibly rewarding job of raising our families, providing, nurturing, guiding, worrying. These were clear, tangible purposes that structured our days and gave us immense satisfaction. When those primary roles change or fade away, when you retire, when the children are grown and living their own independent lives, we can feel completely adrift. It can feel like the world is patting you on the back and saying, "Your job is done. You can sit down now." But the human spirit, the human mind, the human body, is not designed to just sit down and do nothing. We are fundamentally wired for contribution, for engagement, for growth, regardless of age. This is the root of that nagging feeling of apathy, that low-grade ennui that can creep in. It's that distinct lack of motivation to get dressed, to tackle a project, or to do much of anything beyond the bare minimum. It's the feeling that one day just bleeds into the next, with nothing distinctive to distinguish them, no specific goal to look forward to or accomplish. It's that quiet, dangerous voice in your head that whispers, "Does any of this matter anymore?" Or, "What's the point?" These are not signs of personal failure. They are signs that your innate need for purpose is going unmet. For proof of this powerful concept, you only need to look at the blue zones, those remarkable areas of the world, like Okinawa in Japan, where people consistently live the longest, healthiest, and happiest lives. In Okinawa, they have a concept they call ikigai. It roughly translates to a reason for being, or the reason you wake up in the morning. See true. Every single person, no matter their age, whether they are 70, 80, 90, or even 100, is expected to have one. It could be something as simple as tending to their beloved garden, teaching a traditional craft to the younger generation, being an active part of a community council, or caring for their great-grandchildren. They understand, fundamentally, that purpose is a vital nutrient for the soul, as essential as food and water for the body. It gives meaning and structure to every day. Let me tell you about Frank, a retired auto mechanic and a patient of mine. For 45 years, Frank was in his element, expertly diagnosing engine problems, his hands powerful and skillful as he repaired cars. When he retired, he was, quite frankly, bored out of his mind. He'd fixed cars his whole life, and now his powerful, skillful hands had nothing to do. He found himself spending hours staring out the window, feeling increasingly useless. One afternoon, he was sitting on his porch, feeling particularly listless, and he saw some neighborhood kids struggling with a broken bicycle chain. An idea sparked, a flicker of his old self. He went into his garage, found a piece of cardboard, and with a magic marker, he wrote, "Free bike repairs for kids." He taped it to his mailbox. Within days, his garage became the busiest, happiest spot on the block. He's not just fixing chains, he's teaching kids how to do it themselves, sharing his knowledge. He's talking to their parents, connecting with his community. He has a reason to get his hands dirty every single day. He has his ikigai, and it transformed his entire outlook on life. His days are now full of purpose and interaction, and the joy on his face when he talks about his customers is truly inspiring. So your action is to find a small service. Your purpose doesn't have to be saving the world or starting a new career. It just needs to be meaningful to you and perhaps to others. Ask yourself this simple question: who can I help today in one small way? Can you spend 1 hour a week reading a story to children at the local library? Can you walk your busy neighbor's dog in the afternoon, offering a much-needed break? Can you volunteer to just sit with the cats at the animal shelter, offering them comfort and companionship? Your wisdom, your skills, your life experience, and your time are still desperately needed. The world still needs you. It needs you badly. Let's create an idea list. What is one small thing you could do to help someone else this week? Share your idea in the comments below. You might just give someone else their new purpose. Key number 5. The anchor of emotional self-reliance. Owning your own happiness. Dr. Miller. And now for the 5th and most important key, the one I promised you at the very beginning. This is truly the anchor that holds everything else together, the bedrock of your golden years. Key number 5. The anchor of emotional self-reliance. Owning your own happiness. The ultimate trap, the one that all the others lead to, and the most insidious, is outsourcing your emotions. It's when you effectively give the remote control of your happiness to someone else, even to the people you love most in this world, your children. It's when their mood determines your mood. Their phone call, or crucially, the lack of one, determines if you have a good day or a bad day. You're waiting, constantly monitoring, and your internal peace is held hostage by external events you cannot fully control. Psychologically, this is all about something called your locus of control. When your happiness, your sense of well-being, depends almost entirely on an external event, like that phone call, a planned visit, or even a text message, you are living at the mercy of things you cannot control. You're constantly looking outside yourself for validation and joy. This creates a constant, low-grade hum of anxiety in your system. You are always waiting, always hoping, always vulnerable to disappointment. True, stable, and lasting well-being and contentment can only genuinely come from an internal source, from you. It needs to be generated from within, not supplied from without. The core reason this is such a powerful and incredibly difficult habit to break is that, as a parent, your identity was profoundly forged in the fire of providing for and worrying about your children. For decades, their well-being, their needs, their happiness were your primary job, your central purpose. It became a deeply ingrained pattern of thought and emotion. It's a hard habit to unlearn. Shifting that intense focus from "Are they okay?" to "Am I okay?" can feel unnatural, even selfish at first. You might even feel a pang of guilt. But I am telling you, as your doctor, as someone who has witnessed the toll this takes on countless patients, it is the most essential shift you can make for your own physical and mental health, and ironically, for the health of your relationships with your children. This is precisely why a missed call can completely ruin your whole day, casting a shadow over everything else. It's why a short, perhaps even distracted conversation with a busy son or daughter can make you feel hurt, rejected, and resentful for hours, sometimes days. It's because you have unconsciously made their actions or inactions the barometer of your own self-worth and happiness. You've handed them a power over your internal state that they neither asked for nor can responsibly manage, given their own busy lives. The wisdom to overcome this is not new. It is ancient and profound. Principles from both modern cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and even ancient Stoic philosophy teach us the same fundamental thing. Our suffering rarely comes from the events themselves, but from our interpretation of those events. A non-call from a busy son who's juggling a demanding job, his own children, and other responsibilities doesn't inherently mean he doesn't love you anymore. It simply means he is busy. Learning to consciously separate those two things, the objective event, no call, from your subjective, often negative interpretation, he doesn't care about me, is the absolute key to emotional freedom. It allows you to respond with understanding and self-compassion rather than falling into a spiral of anxiety and self-pity. Let's go back to John, the patient I mentioned in the beginning, the wonderful retired engineer who was glued to his phone. The real turning point for him wasn't when his kids suddenly started calling him more often. Because, let's be honest, that's often unrealistic to expect. The turning point was when he stopped needing them to call. He started taking a short walk every morning to a little coffee shop, just to read the newspaper and do the crossword puzzle. It was a simple, solitary ritual. He began to find small, quiet joys in that routine. The rich taste of his morning coffee, the warmth of the morning sun on his face as he walked, a simple, friendly conversation with a barista about the weather. He wasn't waiting for external validation, he was actively creating small moments of contentment for himself. He began slowly but surely to fill his own cup rather than waiting for someone else to fill it for him. He diversified his sources of happiness. So here is your final and most powerful action. I call it the 5-minute joy journal. Every night before you go to bed, I want you to take a small notebook, a simple spiral notebook, or even a few index cards, and write down one thing. Just one thing that brought you a genuine moment of happiness, peace, or contentment today that had absolutely nothing to do with anyone else. Maybe it was the beautiful red cardinal you saw outside your window, its vibrant color a flash of unexpected beauty. Perhaps it was the simple feeling of a warm shower, washing away the day's stresses, or the deep satisfaction of finally finishing a challenging crossword puzzle, a quiet triumph. The goal is to consciously become the primary source of your own joy, to cultivate an internal garden of contentment. This doesn't mean you love your kids any less. In fact, It allows you to love them more purely, without the weight of expectation or the pressure of being your sole emotional lifeline. It transforms your relationship from one of quiet neediness to one of pure, mutual, uncomplicated joy. It is the greatest gift you can give yourself, a bedrock of resilience and peace, and frankly, it is the greatest gift you can give them, the gift of an independent, happy parent. This is the big one. If you are ready to be the source of your own happiness and claim that emotional independence, comment "independent" below. We've unlocked 5 keys to a joyful, independent life. What's one lesson you'll apply? Comment below. If you found value, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more wisdom.